Hey guys, Janice Petteway, Director of Brokerage Development. I told you today that we were going to be talking about listings and how to connect and get someone to feel confident and comfortable with you from the first meeting, from the beginning. And this is so important, guys, because think about it. Listing property, that's your biggest bang for your time. It is, I know in my career, I could have 30 or 40 listings going at all times, but I couldn't work with 30 or 40 buyers at all times. There's absolutely no way. The listings can be done behind the scenes. And you can get help with that so much easier as far as tasks that need to be done behind the scenes. So my goal for all of you is that you are a listing machine. Because if you have the listings, the buyers come easier and you don't have to pay for lead generation. You are generating your own leads because you have the inventory. Makes sense, right? So briefly, because this is not like a half day class on listings, although someday we could do that if you want. But trust is a big thing. I mean, they are going to give you the keys to their home, and that is a big deal as far as trust, right? Especially if they still live there. So the best way, in my opinion, to start that going is to be all in, to make sure that when you go to meet with them, that you are focused on them and them only, that you are creating really good eye contact, you are prepared, knowledgeable, and you're doing all your research ahead of time. And some of the things that I would do that really work, and I know it works because I was a listing machine, and if I went on a listing appointment, 99.5% of the time I got them. And I really believe it was because I did things different than other people maybe did. So for example, when not only was I prepared, but I brought a lot of stuff with me. Did I use it all? Nope, I did not. But I had it and I looked like I was prepared. So I would go in the house with something to write on my listing, of course, file, documents. I would have a camera. I would have the box. I would have a comp. So I would have all of that stuff, just like anybody else. When I got out of my car, though, I actually would look around. I would look down the street, up the street, to the left of the house, to the right of the house. I would look at the roof. I'd look at the landscape, and I'd take notes. And I'll tell you why. Because what did you think was happening when I was getting out of my car and heading towards the front of the house? You can probably, your brain's probably going, they're probably watching you. Because you have an appointment. And how many times have you had an appointment and you've gotten to the door and they're already opening it? They are watching for you. They're paying attention. Sometimes the dog has barked, whatever. I can guarantee you, if you have done what I just said to do, they're probably being like, whoa, she's the only one that's ever paid attention to the house walking up if they've had other appointments. If they're going to have other appointments after you, trust me, this will be in their memory because the other person is just going to walk up to the door. So that's the first thing to gain some trust that you're actually a professional and you have a product to market and their home, that house is your product. So pay attention to it. Then I would always go inside and ask if I could set all my stuff down wherever I chose. I would say kitchen table, dining room table, I'd take control. People feel more comfortable when you're taking control of a situation. So be strong and take control. Plus, it looked like I had so much stuff they had to let me, right? So, of course, all the pleasantries that you know and everything. Once I set that down, I would say, is it okay if we take a tour? I'd love to see everything about your home. Don't worry. This tour is just for me, for us. I need to get a feel for what your home is like. But it's, this is not going to be marketing stuff or marketing photos, right? As we go through, I'd love to just snap a bunch of photos, mostly just so I don't forget anything. Is that okay with you? And I never had anybody say no. Sometimes they would say, well, as long as we're not really ready for marketing photos. And I'd be like, that's fine. This is really just for details for me. And then we would go through and I would acknowledge things in their house. I'd really pay attention. and I'd ask a lot of questions on, did you do that? Or did the matching curtains stay? Or I'm assuming you're going to take those. And I would take notes and I'd snap pictures. Why? Mostly two things, because I was assuming I always got the listing. So when I went back and it was time to put this listing in, I half the time didn't really remember if there was blinds or curtains or if it was a jacuzzi tub or just a soaking tub. I didn't want to have to put all that stuff in my brain. So I just took a bunch of pictures. It worked. But for them, it made them feel like I was very thorough. And that in itself gained someone's trust, right? Lots of questions going through. That was a good way. And then that's another way for you to connect with them. And then we just go from there. Most of the time I'd say, I know that these days most people know the value, at least close to what the range is of their home. There's so much data out there. So I'm guessing that you already have a wish list price, a wish sale price, or a fantasy price. And again, it was just connecting with them. One of the other things I would do that really seemed to gain their trust is I would say, I know that your family or that you live here or whatever the situation is, and I'm wondering if anybody has taken the time to explain to you the process of selling, actually the process of people coming in and out of the house and using a lockbox. And I was found that most of the time what they thought was so off base, and it created a lot of fear for them because they didn't understand how those boxes work. And I hope you guys are all true professionals and you never would put a combo lock on a home where someone lives in it. It's my personal opinion that is really scary, because anybody can give out a combo lockbox. Anybody can watch somebody open something, and you can't track it. But on an electronic box, I would explain how that works and how we know who is in and out, the time, their address, their phone number, their brokerage, the brokerage name. Everything. And it really seemed to make them connect with me at a quicker, deeper level because I took the time. And then we could go from there. And I would just start making assumptions to tell me what you need. What is the most important thing for you guys in feeling comfortable to list your property with someone and move forward and get the property sold so you can move on with your life? Tell me the top couple things that is really important to you, because there are certain things that we all do kind of the same. So I want to make sure that I'm doing what is right for you or for you guys or for your family. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Connecting and trust is a big deal in our business. And there are things that I know you guys, and you're all good-hearted and good people. So you have it in you to do it, but maybe you just don't always remember or realize how important it is to start at the beginning. And the beginning is all about you. So have a great day. See you tomorrow.